Okay. Before we start, I want to say thanks for everyone who visited our lecture today. And I want to say about a few little organization moments. First of all, lecture was going about 1 hour, and it's over and in 8 p.m. Yes. And after the lecture, in the main hall was organized a coffee break and networking session. And I think we can start.
Okay. Hello. Could everyone hear me? Oh, better? Oh, okay. Oh, and so let's at first introduce myself. So my name is Nikolai Losef, and I'm employee of a data art company. It's, I hope you know it. It's a software development company, and initially it's American, but we have our offices worldwide, and have at least 3 in Kazakhstan, in Almaty, Astana, and Karaganda. So here we are. And my main directions, I work as a QA expert and RPA consultant in a company, but also I'm working in company as a curator of external courses. We created a QA school, and it is a course for university. We run it in KBTU and SDU in Almaty, and arrange it for students of these universities. And if they pass that course well, we sometimes hire them. And inside the company, I work as a mentor of mentors. We have a program for training our mentors who working with trainees in company. And initially, I created this lecture for those people. And it contains 3 parts. And I slightly reduce it for you. And they contains part how to learn. The second part was how to teach. And third part was specific of mentors inside our company. It's not interesting for wider auditory. And in this part, I'll take this. And you see that I mentioned that I am not only an IT specialist, and I'm also have another career. It's documentary photographer and mind fitness trainer. I will talk a little about that inside this lecture because it is important for our current topic. Because I start my career 30 years ago as a system administrator, and still the whole my career I learned something. And 20 years ago, I changed career from system administration to QA. Also, I have a parallel career as a documentary photographer, but it is not something really interesting because that is a very strange and hard way to earn money. So I am not recommend to anybody to work as photographer because you will eat, you will eat not each day, maybe once in 2 days, probably. And okay, first a few words about education in general. All of us learn in school, and we know that this is very, very strange experience because you can't learn anything there. You just spend time in school when your parents working and they take after the school. It's some kind of very house for children, but not an organization where somebody wants to teach you really something. And in the schools, all knowledge are present as given, and you just memorize something, but not gain any deep understanding of any topic. It's just mathematics for counting, physics, formulas are some kind of magic. You have, as a result, some general impressions about how worlds are working, but they are really simplified, and they simplified so that it is not true in many points. After this, are you going to university? And still there, many people told that university teach you how to learn. That is not true, because they still teach you to memorize something, to gain some more experience with manipulation with physical formulas, but again, in many specializations, you don't have any deep understanding of topics. No, for example, I studied in a university engineering specialization, and we have some physics, and they still use these formulas, uses that means that. You could find those formulas in this book. That's it. And you don't understand deeply how physical process really works, but you get some kind of tools that could help you in your profession, but not of them are really helpful in understanding of something, of real understanding of matter. And also what the same in the school and university is an organization. They have classroom organization, unified syllabus, and you have some final exams. That's it. The only your teachers take care about is how you pass exams. And even most of them even don't care about that, really. You take care about that, to get good marks, to pass exams, to make a lecture notes, but all these things are not about learning. So I just do not like to have only this lecture. From my side, I will have some questions for you. So please raise a hand who are currently studying something. Yeah. And what specialization? Mm-hmm. Okay. And you? Oh, sorry. Please give me a microphone.
Currently, I am finishing my 4th year of cybersecurity in the Polytechnical University.
Mm-hmm.
And in my spare time, I usually just try to learn about like different programming languages, like C++ or whatever else.
Okay, thanks. So what I'd like to talk next is about how to make the process of education, the process more convenient, and how to will propose you some list of tools that help in educational process. But first, this I have some take about education. It's maybe not completely true, but it's more or less working idea that you need 10,000 hours to work in some area to become an expert. So if you spend studying and working on something, for example, 20 hours per week, it will take 10 years. So if you start something now, in 10 years, you will become an expert. That's general idea. Some people make this faster, somebody don't. But it's some base idea that I am using for I'm telling for my students, for example. And the first idea when I think that how to create a first course, I am initially from Russia, and so when I traveling from Moscow to St. Petersburg, I just take a book with me, and that is about a book of Salman Khan. I could recommend it only in that case if you planning to teaching career or you're planning to run your own courses. It's really helps because they give some ideas how to make educational process in future much more better, much more convenient than it's presented currently in schools or universities. More or less, our course that we are running in a university school are built on that ideas. Not on all of them, because, for example, it's hard to, when we, on our course in each university are nearly 50 students, and so it's very hard to make the more or less some personalization, but sometimes we try. But we use other things widely. First, we're using video lessons. We have prepared video lectures, and we have our own educational platform inside our company that we use for that. And another point, we really focused on understanding of material. For that purposes, we are running a practical session with experts. So that course about QA, and so we invite our QA experts, that not only me, I read maybe 2 lections of 8. Other lections are provided by other experts, and students could communicate with, say, not only with one lecturer, but with different experts and ask them questions. It's an interactive, and we doing it based on real production experience, not on some theoretical base. Another point, we have forcing our students for self-learning. Self-education is something that more important even than our lectures, because we give additional materials, if we give some directions for gaining knowledge for people, and we expecting really that our students not only listen lectures and visit practical sessions and do some homework that we give for them, but also they're working on raising their knowledge by using our additional materials. And the last point, very important, it's important for me, for example, because learning is not it's a process, not an action, because we are learning something new through the whole our life. So you see on my example, so I work as IT engineer, but I start learning as a photographer, give some success in that, but drop this career for now and still continue working as IT engineer, but I am changing my directions several times. So from system administrator to QA expert, then to RPA consultant. And the last general thing that I'd like to mention is about responsibility. And that's things that I'm starting to talking with my students, with my mentees. I also mentioned that I work as a mentor in our company. So that part of the responsibility is parts that are on your side when you're studying something. So I can't force you to learn anything. I could give you some directions, I could give you materials, I could answer questions, but responsibility on working on education is on side of student. But so at first you need to find your own motivation why you're studying that thing. For example, for me, is main driver for learning something is curiosity. I'm just very like to find something new. I'd like to find something more interesting, but I am never selected something to learn just because to earn more money or to be famous speaker and whatever. Just only curiosity. And when I'm studying something, I based on my previous life experience, of course, and you should. And okay, so that is general words, just to introduce the topics, and we'll go for more practical things. It's organization. So organization of your own educational process. So never expect that any lecturer, on any courses will organize your process from their side. No, we're just providing materials, we're providing lecture, we're answering questions, but organization of learning process is your responsibility. And that helps you to gain knowledge. You came to, for example, our mentees came to me to get some knowledge from me, but I can't learn anything. I can't educate anybody if they don't want, and if they don't work on that, and even if they don't organize their own educational process, then so how to organize? So here is a list of products that I use for my own self-education and for project work and even for just regular life. I will talk about each more widely, but here is just a list of the tools that help to work with information, work with materials, work with almost with everything. So the first and very important thing is a tree-structured text editor. I will show that. Mind maps, to-do lists, calendar, some media manager, project manager, cloud documents, and presentation creation software, of course, because I'm creating this presentation in PowerPoint, for example. So about productivity. So when you start learning something, it's not only for IT disciplines, it could be for anything. So the first is creating your personal database. So when you have some start education in some area, you have some materials, some your own thoughts about that, some investigation, interesting bookmarks that you find during web search plans. And so before I start using tree-structured editors, there was just a mess on my computer with different documents, text documents, Word documents, and without they live in the hard drive without any structure, and that was really not helpful because you lose something, you forget about something, and as a result, you not have something structured. So how to structure that? And so for maybe for last 6 or 7 years, I am using tree-like hierarchical text editors. And so that idea of that are really well suited to my workflow. And the key information for me is a text, not images, not videos, but the general information that I work are text-like things. And I am using now Obsidian, and I'm highly recommended it. There's not only the tree structured notebook, but for me is the best one. And so because it could work offline, it could work on any platform, especially on tablets, on phone, and also on my laptop. And I am using the widely iPad for making notes on lectures when I listen something, and I make it directly in Obsidian, and then links in they synchronize through the cloud to my laptop. And but now I plan to try Ink table for that, but it is my thought that it will be more helpful to make some notes on lectures, but I'm just still using iPad for that. And what's the most discoveries that I find through the using that tool? I just get some illustration, not from my real Obsidian, just from internet, but never mind. I just like showed some hints of that, how to work with that. And when I'm placing, find any bookmark, any new thoughts, I put them in this tree structured, like tree structured of leaves. And for me, it's more or less comfortable to work in that manner. So what's the strangest? Just creating how understand how we effectively use it. It's based on how many branches and dances of networks that you create for your works. So for me, it's thousands of nodes and dozens of trees inside, and I can, it's contained both simple notes about everything lecture, all related materials, project ideas, and so on. It's absolutely best tools for collecting such information. And I really, to be honest, don't understand why not everybody still use that for organization. So for me, it's incredibly convenient in classification, in quick access, into full text search. And when I find just interesting project, before start using the tree structured text editor, I just make bookmark in browser. But it's bookmark manager in the browser is just a grave for all your links. You'll never will find them. And all bookmark managers are not really effective. So you bookmarking something, but forget on the next day that you do this. I'm adding in a specific nodes in my text editor, and so I will never lost this. And it's also have a links with other nodes and help to find some strange connections between them. Another point is visualization. And when I'm starting working, for example, on a new project or on a new lecture, I creating mind maps. And also I use it for some, partially for some assignments that I have during my education, and for collaboration with other people, with my colleagues, for example, for brainstorming sessions. So we're just using that tools for that also. And for Mac, I using MindNode for that, and think that's one of the better tools. I can't recommend it something for Windows because I don't use it. So, but probably you find something like MindNode for Windows. And Koggle we use for for group work when I'm working with my colleagues. And my no my sorry, and mind maps, that's the things that are really underrated by most people. And there's a person, I said, Tony Bazan, who aggressively hype about that, but most of people are miss that and even don't use for some practical works. But what the power of visualization that you could find some links and interlinks between topics inside your, for example, project that you will not see just in a text structure on a text document. And so they start working and make this all magic how this work when your mind map became really huge and have a couple of 100 branches. And generally in my practical work, I have mind maps with 100, 200 branches, and it's a deeper nested branches, not just one node. They have many nodes and different connections between them. And for example, when we're using that for brainstorming, just a simple rule, we drop everything there. And it became very huge, became somehow, it seems not structured, but then you, after some work with it, you will see some connections that could be missed just if you work with a text version of brainstorming. Okay.
I think a little question. In previous slide, you show the mind map, and I want to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that it's possible to create that mind map in Notion? I didn't know if they have the technologies to create something
in
like
Notion
that.
also, yes, but I'm not using Notion for anything. In Obsidian also have a tool for mind mapping, but I really don't like it. I find for me more convenient MindNote as a separate tool. But okay, I do not have experience with Notion, so hard to say. I do not like to spend time on finding the best tool for everything. I'd like just to take tools that seems more or less good, and that's enough for me. And I start using. It could be have some advantages, disadvantages, but you know that's one of the problems when you spend enormous time just for finding ideal tools that solve everything.
Yeah,
and you don't do real work. You just reading reviews, comparing, trying to. I just want to reduce some time of searching for the tool, just highlighting some of them that could be more could solve 90% of your requirements, and that's enough.
Okay. Just I use Notion a little bit, and I want to спросить, я забыл, как это называется. Извините. I want to ask you about maybe you know if Notion have that functional. Okay, thank you.
So I'm sorry, I don't use Notion file.
Okay.
So I can't answer. And okay, so and the main idea, so it is not the way of how to properly create mind maps. It's on your side, so you just creating your own mind map, and it should be convenient for you. And don't read many internet reviews how to do that. So only you know how to make that. You have just gained some ideas from internet, but just try to use it in a manner that more suited for your workflow, and not to try some best practices from internet, because they somehow most of them don't work really. And so that is a point that I say that it's not, there is no such a thing as the right way of using. Is right or wrong, that's not the right way of using is how you use this tool. So, and when some people look on my mind map, they say, well, what a mess. We can't understand here anything, but they are created by me for me. And so they're helpful for me. And I don't try to spend some time on finding right way of using. And, but only some recommendation. I never use any graphics in mind maps, only text also. And I know some people are throwing there some images, but that creates result will be, for me, it's something that's not really understandable, because you can't see the smaller images, and it's more easy to using text and links for something. But okay, is something like investigation board. In that case, you could use, but I am not using that really practice in my practice. And if you never use it, I highly recommend just try to use mind map for anything, for your interests, your dreams, your current project. Just put everything there and you'll see that how this works, and probably find some interesting interconnections that we will never find without that. And the power of visualization are everywhere. So for example, when I'm working as QA engineer and QA automation, I prefer visual reports instead of just text reports where I show test pass. I create graphics, I create some diagrams to see how everything acts, and that helps to debug results and helps to see some tendencies there, and really help in some complicated cases. A year ago, I read here the election about automation, and it was topic about flaky tests, and they show how to use visualization in find out the root cause of some issues in your automation tests. So visualization I work more or less everywhere in learning process, in IT tasks really. And what other tools? There are not a huge list. So for to-do list, I use Google Tasks. For calendar, okay, Google, I drop in calendar almost everything. Not only my work activities, but my personal activities. For example, I have in a calendar on each day 1 hour allocated for my meals. So when I for my lunch, and so it seems as mandatory, and nobody will arrange meeting on that time because you reserve it for yourself just to take a meal, and so not to work to speak with colleagues instead of eating something tasty. Some pain with Media Manager because the only tool that I find more or less is Keep It. It's for Mac. I don't remember if it runs on Windows again, but it is a really silly tool, and I don't find anything better still. To organize videos, to organize audio records, and to have the option with tagging, descriptions, and full text search through the all nodes there. So if anybody of you find good Media Manager, please tell me. For project manager, it's Trello, and I use Trello board. Okay, always for almost for everything. Even from we have a Trello board with my wife for our home tasks, and it really helps organize your time. Cloud documents, okay, once again, Google. For presentation software, I use Microsoft PowerPoint, and probably the only Microsoft tool I use for anything, but okay, we have a Google Slides, it also works. And AI. So how to use AI in education? That's very, very sensitive topic because I see some of my students are doing their homework with ChatGPT. And sorry, it's easily to understand that this was not human made homework. I see the cheating, and okay, that's about responsibility. So if you just want to gain a good mark, okay, but if you're trying to learn something, don't use ChatGPT or Grok or anything else for your homework. But I am using them for what purposes? For example, I have a big documentation and I wanted to have a fast abstract from it. Okay, that works. or I want to translate some text from English or from Russian. I am also using DeepL or Grok for that. But okay, that's not the final result. So because I'm editing texts by hand after that. And I'm now trying to use ChatGPT as a personal reminder. They now have functionality to send you push notifications in a phone, but seems they not do that well still. And but point is that when I propose election to organizers, there was two options. The second option was about AI tools in IT industry. And that's a thing that I like to talk in past times. I'm also, we have some working group in our company that investigate current situation with AI tools and try to predict how they affect on our daily routines in the nearest 2 years. And good news, the AI tools will not steal our work, but people who have experience in working with AI tools, for example, in prompt engineering, they will steal the work from the people who still don't use any AI tool now. And in my practice, working practice, when I write in code, I am writing not a big amount of code because as a RP engineer, I am using low code systems, and there is not a big amounts of code there. So, but for some small practical tasks, I am writing code in C#, and near 30% of this code is AI generated now. 20 to 30% now. In the nearest 2 years, it will be 50, 60. In 5 years, it will be 95. In 20 years, I hope I will be retired and just end the game for me. But okay, so when I prepare that lecture about tools, I add something that was not initially in that lecture for our mentor school. I just want to show how we could apply these tools for studying something in IT. And very, very important thing is roadmaps. And so you could get them, for example, from roadmap SH, this illustration for how to become a Python engineer I take from there. And you see that is some visual representation of it. And okay, so it's first you're defining what you want to achieve. For example, I want to achieve become a Python developer. I can't recommend to become any developer now. Sorry, just kidding. And probably it still be valuable profession in the near in the at least 5 or 10 years. But okay, you're taking this roadmap and it's breaking on the steps. You could navigate through them through this visual representation and could add in your tree structured text editor all information about each step. So the first step in Python, learn the basic syntax. So you're taking the documentation, you start working with them and creating in your tree structured text editor the branch with basic syntax, some links on useful documentation, and so on, and you just making this structure, you just transmit it in your personal knowledge database. And for each point, you're creating additional branch, and they will have some interconnections, and you could just stole from here all structure and start to studying something based on that and making your own structure in your text editor. And okay, so you could use for that your calendar. So when you're starting this self education, or you're going to courses, you're adding your in calendar your lections, your practical tasks. Okay, you could put on the Trello board tasks that you should done for gain each result. And that will be more or less your workflow. And of course, when you have mentor or you have studying on some courses, you also could use the same structure just for organizing your knowledge for that. And okay, so seek feedback, it's just my recommendation, because especially when you're starting that in a self-education, the most things that are really important is getting some feedback from outside, because you think, I'm gaining this experience, I could now write something on Python. It's not true, because until you have communicate with other people, they could give you advices and see how you evaluate in your progress. So I think I am really ready to start my career as Python developer. Probably yes, probably no, but that's something that will not with any tool help you. Only people could give you such feedback. And the past thing I was the last thing that I wasn't unsure if I need to add this slide because it's something really simple and not directly connected with anything I told before. But I'd like to add this slide because it's something that we don't take seriously, really. That one of the main tool that you're using for education is your own brains. And if you don't train it, if you don't use it as a tool, it could be some problem for you, I think. So the first point that is training your brain. So we have a couple of applications. I listed here some of them, but you could find them easily in Google or just ask ChatGPT. Or it's applications that help you to train brains. They give some exercises on memory, on attention, on logical thinking and thinking speed, and that's something that really helps. I can't recommend any of them hardly, because I still finding something that will help for me, but you could also recommend something for me if you find out. And other point is that learning new skills. And for example, I am start learning how to play on a blues harp. I am not expecting to create a career as a musician, no way. But that's kind of hobby that helps me to relax, to me, not for my family, because I hate that time when I start playing something because I'm not good, still not good in that. But for me, it's a great time. And so I allocate nearly 15, 13 minutes 3 times per week. And I'm just using some online courses for, but I'm still a bad player, and so I will not show how it here. And some just general ideas to stay physically active. So I'm not talking about professional sport, because professional sport is something that could be more create more troubles than be helpful. Professional sports, not a good way, but just some physical activity. So I am living in the near the Almaty in the mountains, and so I just each day walks near. I have a smartwatch, so checking that I do enough steps per day, and just going through the mountains. And it helps. It's not means that start became vegan or something like that. Just not overfeeding, just not eating each day donor. It's not a good idea. Please eat something more convenient. Sleep well, manage stress, drink enough water. And okay, so develop social connections, of course, important, and limit distractions. For limit distractions, I moved from the city to outside and live in a house in the mountains, and there is no distractions there. So, but not could recommend for everybody. But for me, it works. And but in that case, it's a little bit more harder to keep social connections because you don't go to city each day. It's just simple general things, and you could skip the slide. And one disclaimer, I put many texts in the slides on a purpose, because there is such a thing as a your memory, and after 20 minutes of after this lecture, you will forget 40% of everything that I told here. So why I don't care about what I'm talking here, because you forget almost 60% tomorrow and 80% in 2 weeks. So I could told anything, you'll forget more or less everything of that. But you could, I hope organizers could send for all participants the presentation, and they contain ton of text, because this thoughts could be useful. If you'd like to use these tools to get some ideas, everything are there in the presentation, and so you could use it and send to everybody. And of course, you could connect me directly. Here is a link on my LinkedIn profile. It's not photo of me, but okay. And now is a good time to questions. And so if you have some, I hope you have some, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, thank you for your lecture. And if someone have a question, please take your hand, and okay, I say.
So, Nikolai, thank you for this valuable information. I wanted to ensure, do you still work as an engineer or only as a mentor?
No, I'm working as an engineer, and mentoring is just a part of my work. It's something 70 to 30, 70% as engineer, 30% as a mentor, and in learning in company activities.
Is this job hard for you or enjoying?
What part of it?
Okay, what parts do you like the most of your job?
I still like engineering work, but for me it's important to take part in learning activities because it's also helpful for me. I'm organizing knowledge, my own knowledge, and I could see the newest trends outside my project. So if I only keep work on a current project, I will not gain new things, because I more or less work with finance, and it's a little bit conservative thing, and so there's don't like to implement new technologies.
Okay, thank you. So about to-do list, I have some questions, and first is it's really hard to me to track them to the list. So I can easily struggle with problems for a week, but I can't track it for daily perspective. And my question is there any alternatives which are effective and convenient?
It's a little bit tricky question because every time I'm asking about alternatives. Okay. Let me think. I think we could pass this discussion to the whole, so it could there. And I'll take some time out just to formulate something for you.
So okay, thank you.
Did anybody have a question? Okay, I have one little question. In last slide, you say about все хорошо. In last slide, you say about manage your stress for more productivity, work and study. I want to ask, did you have some maybe как советы будут?
Advices.
Advice, or maybe you can say how you manage your stress, because for me it's a little bit hard, mainly when in your own life some stress is have, and it's need to concentrate on your work, and I think it's a little bit hard for me, and I want to know how to dodge this thing.
Okay, so it's not one advice. At first, I'm using some breathing techniques, and breathing by square is 6, 8, 9 on. Take a breath on 6, pause on 7, out breath at 8 seconds, and it helps in moment. But if you're working under high stress in a longer time, that's better is just to take some breaks. For example, I am taking break on 15 minutes by without phone, without laptop, just going to maybe street or just in sitting on sofa, and not meditation. I am not expert in meditation, but something just time you stays with you and asking some questions for yourself. So why am I so reacted on that? So what I could do with that? Maybe small walk on the street. And in general, what helped to work on a high stress environment is just keeping enough sleeping and organizing, and get some attitude to tell some people no. So when your manager thinking, please take this new task, say, no, I don't have capacity. And could be stressful to say no, but just to train for that. And so because you will be under overloading of tasks, you will be in more stressful environment, then you say no and just don't take that part. And so that's more or less it. Meditation helps, but don't know how. I'm not expert.
Yeah, I tried, but I think it's not so helpful for me. I think maybe I did something wrong, but it's for me work that I don't know. Okay, thank you. Just.
I have a lack of productivity. I can't even start things that I like. How can I manage it?
Okay, so on that questions, I could do from the my from Mind Fitness. They have some techniques for that. So it's first about making some small steps. So when you have some ideas, you want to start something, and it's, for example, if it's a big thing, it's big process, just separate it on a small task. Start with something small. And generally, second thing that helps is working on your habits, just creating new habits. There is, you could even search in Google how Mind Fitness recommend to create new habit. So there's a couple of steps that helps, and it could be something small. So don't try to do something big at the moment. So just by small steps, for example, create a new habit. For example, go to sleep at 12, not in 2 a.m., not at 3 a.m., just on time. For example, start to work with small things. So don't try to do to restructure all everything, your workflows or all the whole world in the one time. It's hard to recommend something more. Just small steps, just working with habits with you. If you see that you can do on yourself, you could go for some specialists, for example, Mind Fitness trainers. So I know in Kazakhstan there is they have some of them. I just gained this specialization. I don't expect it to work as Mind Fitness trainer. I just do it for myself, just for reorganize my own routines. But there is some specialists you could try to work with them. Also they help in that such things, and there is not a very fast result, so that there is nothing like a magic that will help when you start working on something. It's a process. It could take some time.
Thank you. But how it's named again?
Huh?
My Fitness?
Mind Fitness.
Mind-
You could find on presentations or that I have as a qualification, but okay, I just pass these courses only for myself because I have some problems with memory after COVID, and I have a serious illness in the result of the COVID, and they affected on memory. And so I pass these courses just to train myself to recover after COVID and recover my memory, because I'm not forget everything, but they were seriously harmed by virus, and so I spent half of a year just on recovering, because this was seriously affected on my work and my daily routines, of course. And now it's more or less like fixed. So that helps in such cases. It could help in your case.
Where did you move? Where did you move? I mean, you said you moved like moved out like to the mountains.
I'm live in Almaty, but it's near 1 hour on a car from the city. It's Beskaynar village. It's near with one of the ski resorts. So it's 1,050 meters above zero.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, 1 second.
I also wanted to thank you for your lecture. I have a question. Earlier you said that AI won't take our jobs in the future. And I want to ask you, are you sure about that? Like, should new developers even bother learning coding manually, like old-fashioned way, or should we just go straight to learning AI tools from the beginning, from the get-go?
Okay, so they will not take our job. In what I mean under that, it could reduce necessity of writing code. So currently 30% of the code I'm writing is AI generated. In the close 2 years, it will be some kind of 50%. But they will not appear without my part in that. So I am creating some prompts. I creating some general architecture of in UI. I'm using UiPath tool, and there is such entities as robots, and they covering some process. And so creating initial documentation, working with a customer, I will not replace me here. In creating flow in general, also it will be a human-based process. AI tools could help me that they could help me to do this faster. Just for example, at first I started just not stop writing any regular expressions. So they told that AI will steal my job. Okay, we'll take this part. I really hate this. Just do it instead of me. But what I told that important that you should gain experience with using AI tools. So prompt engineering is one of the requirements currently for architects. So if you don't have any experience with prompt engineering with AI tools, you can't work as a solution architect for now. And even a team lead and even as developer, it could be somehow limit you. But what would really replace it by, so if you gain experience, if you are good in prompt engineering and using AI tools, you will steal the job of the people who don't use AI tools. That's 100% true. So if you don't have that experience, if you don't learn how to use AI tools, it could be Copilot, it could be something like ChatGPT, and so on. You will be out of profession in 5 years.
Okay, thank you.
Last question.
You have a big experience working in data art. So which technology stack now in most often used in international projects?
I don't have a direct answer on that question because we have different customers in different countries and different directions in company. We have finance, medical, travel practice, and hard to say that technology is widely used. And okay, and also we are limited by our customers. It's not means that we use many Java. That means on the market it's still so valuable. We have many Java developers because we have many financial projects. If you go to, for example, in another company that will more oriented on another areas, the picture will be different from. So I will not recommend, and I don't have direct answer on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think we can end lecture. Who now plays in the lecture? I want to пригласить, прошу прощения, meet you to networking session and coffee break. Thank you.